for joining. Today I have our guest. Do you prefer to go by Eterna or Wings? Or
You can call me Eterna,
Eterna's
Eterna
good?
Wings, whatever works best.
Okay, Eterna.
Um,
We have Eterna today. Tonic is not
Hi.
with us, so it's going to be us two rolling. I really do appreciate you coming out, Eterna, for the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate you having me on the show.
Absolutely. Today we're going to be talking first and foremost about what we tried to talk about last week, which is what are the pros and cons to gaming in terms of health. And so I don't know if you met Eterna last week. We had some technical issues. She is studying to become a nurse, and so she's going to take the physical side of knowledge for me and kind of take that off, and I'm going to take the mental side of knowledge, and together we're going to discuss this because I think it's important to talk about. It is something that I feel like is picking up steam. I don't know if you know who Beat 'em Ups is, Eterna, on YouTube.
I've never heard of them.
Okay, so he does his channel's pretty dang big, and he does like Nintendo Switch almost exclusively.
Okay.
But he recently came out with a video about his depression and how another one of some other big YouTuber whom he didn't name talked about how he uses his platform for the wrong reasons, and it just really kind of sunk into him and his depression. So he made a video about how that kind of stuff gets to him. Short of the long, more people are speaking out, which is great. A lot of very well-known people are speaking out about what they're dealing with as gamers because we see individuals streaming and we see individuals making content on YouTube, and we think to ourselves the same thing we think to ourselves when we see an athlete, which is, oh, they got it good. All they have to do is show up, jump really high, or show up and play with a joystick and then make lots of money and relax, and everybody watches them and loves them and goes home. But that's just not the case. There's a lot of very unique factors that gamers face that actually hurt them rather than benefit them. And that's what we want to talk about today. Hear me has a question. Oh, okay. You answered the
Yeah,
question
yeah, I
already.
responded.
Okay,
I was
okay.
like, I was letting you. I was just like, let me type this real quick.
No problem, no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, Etern, if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah, you're
The
good.
very first thing I want to discuss is connection. Okay, so numero uno, connection. Um, it's a beautiful world we live in today where I have access to anybody around the world that has access to technology as well. The internet has done some wonderful things and also some very disgusting, nasty things. Um, Connection in and of itself is neither good nor bad, it's inherently neutral. But unfortunately, there are a lot of trolls and there are a lot of people out there who use Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and all these other platforms to do more harm rather than good. And so being a gamer comes with this ability to surround yourself with a beautiful community of people who uplift you or a bunch of people who are toxic and bring you down. I like to say friends are like elevators. They either take you up or they take you down. And if you're surrounding yourself with a lot of toxic just information, it's going to affect your mental diet, and your mental diet affects everything else. So connection for me is something that's why I created the Motivation Militia. It's not very big, obviously. We don't have too many people in our community, but it is a community that I like to say is nothing but positive. And if we get anything negative, we're probably going to take you out of it. Um, there are other communities out there that try to accomplish the same task, and I think that's wonderful. But I think what separates our community from others is that I am a therapist, and so I do get it on the clinical side. That's not to encourage a bunch of people who have issues to take all of their problems into our forums because we also want to have fun and be healthy. And if it's always problems, then that we're discussing instead of actual games or media or other fun things, and that's just not going to be a very welcoming community either. But connection opens the door for both good and bad. It is inherently neutral, but it is something to be aware of. And if you're a gamer watching this either on Twitch or on YouTube, I really want you to question what groups am I a part of? Who do I follow? What information do they provide to me on a regular basis? And do I really need that? So that was the first thing I wanted to discuss is just this access that we have to so many people, good or bad. What are your thoughts, Eterna?
So it's funny that you bring up the point real quick of the community. So for me, I've been in Discord for a long time now. Probably say since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
when I first got Overwatch, that kind of just prompted me because a lot of people are like, oh, get Discord or whatever the case may be. And you can find all these different communities, for
Mm-hmm.
example.
Mm-hmm.
So I started branching out. And I mean, I'll say this like you were making the point of, you have the communities that are positive, we're here to help each other. But then it becomes to that point where some of the communities that we're in, I left because it became toxic. It became the whole, okay, let me tell you my whole life story, and you're going to be my therapist and everything else.
Right.
It's just
Right.
like, you want to be supportive, but then it becomes a little bit like, okay, we need to kind of tone it
Yes.
down a bit. We
Yeah.
need to tone this down, or we need to take it into a private chat out because
Yes.
you do have other people. You need to be respectful of other people as well. They may not want to see that. There were some people where they were struggling themselves and they were having all, depression, wherever case may be, and them seeing that made their condition worse. And I had some people that just like, this is too much for me. This is overwhelming. This is not fun
Right.
anymore.
Right. Right.
I and all that stuff. And so some of the stuff I had to leave. There were some groups that were like, yeah, we're positive, we're perfect and everything else. And it's just like, okay, if you don't help me, I'm not going to just talk. I'm not going to talk to you. Especially when they find out you're a female. They're
Oh
like,
gosh. Yeah.
oh, yo. And I have stories on that, but we'll be here forever if I told those lovely stories.
Another
But yeah.
day. Another day for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah, a
another
lot of
day. Yes.
communities, you have to walk that line
Mm-hmm.
between we're here to support you, but this
Yes.
isn't a therapy group.
Yes.
And yeah, once it becomes just a bunch of venting, and venting is very
Yes.
important,
Yes.
but people we watch we watch certain things because
Mm-hmm.
those things help us escape from our
Ex-
problems. We don't
exactly.
go into forums and certain videos. I know we're talking about it right now, but we don't do this
Mm-hmm.
every week. They don't want to see that most of the
Yeah.
time. We want to
Mm-hmm.
escape. So if I'm not going to be active in a Discord of support, if that Discord of support is constantly bombarding me with people's problems, it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's just kind of hard to
Mhm.
it's just hard to find that balance because you want people to feel like they can speak up, but
Mhm.
not abuse that opportunity.
Exactly, because
Um,
I'm a full supporter of venting. I'm always, from my upbringing, it was always, don't keep it in. Go ahead and talk about it, but also be respectful.
mhm.
Know those boundaries. If you're involving other people, make sure those other people are comfortable with
Right.
it.
Right.
And it's not in so because some people, when some of them that were venting too much, I say, well, can you be respectful enough? Can you maybe take it to another chat, maybe a
Right.
private chat, group
Right.
chat, where you guys have the same people that are going to do that? Don't bring this here. And there's like, oh no, you're not being supportive. It was
That's
just
not
kind of
true,
like
and that's not
attacking.
true at all.
And I'm
Yeah.
so and I'm fully supportive. Like I'm a proponent of like, hey, if you want to talk about something, you're always welcome to
Hmm.
talk to me about it. I'm always ears, but don't abuse it. Don't
Don't
take
abuse it.
advantage of just
Yeah.
say, yeah, exactly. Know those balance and just know those boundaries and just ask, hey, is it okay if I go
Hmm.
ahead and vent?
Yeah.
Those that's kind of like,
And
just ask people. It's
it's
just a
just
simple
courtesy. It's
question.
just courtesy,
Yeah.
which is why I'm gonna flip over here.
Yeah.
So this is our Discord, and you
Hmm.
can't see because my beautiful slash not so beautiful face is in the way. You can
Oh
see
God.
right here it says gamer mental health. So we have a section actually on our Discord for gamer mental and physical health. But if when people want to have that discussion, they need to go there. Like we have a designated area for that. Simply because we don't need that in the general chat. We don't need that in the selfies chat. We just don't need that anywhere else besides there. And that's not to it's not to say, hey, please don't talk about this. You're being flagged. It's, hey, can we move this conversation to a place where people can either choose to see it or choose not to see it? Which
Exactly.
leads
And
me
I
to go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. No,
Yeah.
go ahead. You're
So I
fine.
was saying is I actually like that. So that's what one of the things I was very impressed about your Discord was the fact that you had that separation from mental health and you had that separation for physical. Because a lot of discords, I've been in a lot of discords, and they don't have that. It's just like, okay, just whatever in the general chat, and that's it. And
Yeah,
I can
that's
understand
not what that's for.
yes, and,
That's not-
yes, and
yeah,
I'm just like,
Don't do
oh,
that.
hello, that should be in another
yeah.
type of chat. I
Don't do
mean,
that.
I mean, I'm an adult,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a little too much now.
I got you. Which leads me to my second point, which is an escape. Okay, so the
Yes.
second thing I wanted to talk about, number two, pros and cons, is an escape. It's a beautiful thing being able to say, you know what, I don't want to live in my world anymore, so I'm going to go live in Skyrim's world right now. Or I don't want to live in my world now, so I'm going to absorb myself into Overwatch or Call of Duty or some other multiplayer game where I have to be really focused and intent with what I'm doing, so I can't focus on my problems. That's a beautiful thing to have access to. But at what point do we say, hey, I'm spending way too much time here? So I had a buddy recently. We talked about this actually a little bit before air,
Mhm.
before going on. He just did a 24-hour stream. Now I am not against 24-hour streams. My question is, if you're doing a 24-hour stream, what's the rest of your health looking like? Why are you doing a 24-hour stream? Are you trying to escape from something? Are you trying to gain access to increased views? Are you trying to get access to increased followers? But at what cost? Is your value being dictated by it? Which is my third point. I'm connecting these together. My third point is your value connected to it? Why are you spending 24 hours streaming consecutively without sleep, with a few breaks maybe, staring at a screen, being sedentary? To me, most of the time that says, hey, I'm trying to get away from something. I'm trying to escape. I love playing video games, and this is my escape. And I'm attaching a lot of value to this. I wouldn't invest 24 hours in this if I didn't see this as part of me, of these followers being a part of me. One second. Sorry. Simba likes to act up during stream because he's not getting attention.
Simba's like, see me, daddy. Please, daddy. I want
Simba,
to be seen.
Simba likes to act up. He likes to misbehave. But yeah, and I'm not against 24-hour streams, and some people can do them and not have a deeper meaning. But I really just ask myself, why? Why are you investing so much time into this? Sometimes there are good answers, and sometimes there's not so good answers, and sometimes there's underlying answers. And in fact, my fourth point of my five is time. All the time you have to invest into gaming, is that good or bad? Spending 24 hours in a row playing games, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad. I think it's a little bit of both every time somebody does something like that. But let's stick to point number two, which is an escape. I do it, and I'm sure you do it too, Eterna. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes you
Oh,
just need
yes,
to. But
definitely.
where do you think the line is? Do you think the line is at, I don't know, 4 hours? Do you think the line is at, I mean, where's the line where we say, okay, I'm spending this amount of time per week, and now it's no longer an escape. It's affecting my career. It's affecting my relationships. It's affecting my ability. I'm not processing enough of what's going on in my life because I'm choosing to turn on the tube instead of turn on my brain and talk to my spouse about something. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, yes. So it's funny. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the actual physical effects of it.
Yes,
Let's
great.
bring
That's
in
why.
some nursing stuff in
Yes,
here. Let's
please,
bring some medical
please
stuff.
do.
Okay. Well, for some of the viewers and
Oh,
everyone
Jordan.
else,
Hello, cutie
I
pie.
know I saw that. I was like, oh, oh. It's about to get hot up in here soon.
I can read. Hear me, you jerk. You big bully.
I saw that. I was like, okay. But anyways, so there's actually been cases on Twitch where some streamers have died because they did
Really?
a 24-hour stream. Yes, it's actually, I'm trying to remember the exact when it happened. It might be a year, maybe a couple years ago. Someone was streaming. They didn't say it was Twitch, but you see the purple background was a dead
Sure,
giveaway was
sure,
Twitch.
sure.
And yeah, so the guy was streaming 24 hours. He died because, I mean, you got to think about this. You're streaming 24
It's
hours.
on YouTube. Oh my
It
God.
it was, oh, okay. Oh, it was the videos. Yeah. Okay, so it
Wow.
was. Yeah, I just remember reading a story about that or on the art or reading an article about that way back, and I was just like, and it's not the only, that wasn't the first case of that. There's been cases of people actually doing 24-hour streams and he died because you got to think about this. You can't step
Jesus.
away from the screen.
It
That's the
was
first
Twitch.
setup.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yes. And you got to think about this. You're doing 24 hours, okay? You need to have your basic necessities,
Get some food.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Maslow's
Okay,
hierarchy.
let's
Water.
okay, we're about to get college. Yes, yes, water. Okay, at the bare minimum, let's get some water. You really don't want to go if you want to go ahead and do your intermittent fasting, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be,
Oh
but you
God.
need water. I know you're like, oh. So you need water, you need some sort of nutrients, some sort of food at some
You
point.
need breaks, and you
Yeah,
can't. I don't know.
you need a potty break. I mean, for Pete's sake. I mean,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, if you're a guy, it's a little bit easier to do your potty breaks. But if you're a female, we got some problems. Okay, we don't understand. It is no nice way of saying it. Okay, just trying to keep it PG related. But with us women, we can't just it's not easy for us to do a 24-hour stream. We can't. I
I don't
mean,
think it's
we
easy for anybody to do a
could.
24-hour stream.
Yeah,
I look
but
at a computer for, I look at a screen for 2 hours, and my head's starting to spin, man. I just can't.
yeah.
I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, but you gotta think about all that stuff.
The,
So you're talking
and
about
imagine streaming. Speaking to being, sedentary for so long.
hmm
Imagine your career. Co Carnage is one of my favorite stream. He's the reason I started streaming in the first place. I
hmm
watch him more than anybody else by far.
hmm
But this dude has streamed. I kid you not. He's over 3 years. I don't know the exact amount of days in a row, but he's over 3 years in a row, including
hmm
weekends that he has streamed. And he
hmm
streams usually 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
hmm
Like 3 years in a row, guys. And recently, semi recently, I think it was a couple months ago, he had some health issues where his doctor was like, listen, you need to move because
hmm
he sat down for so long and didn't do anything. So his doctor required him to walk X amount of miles per day before streaming. He's like, you must do this. You are sick. And he's like 30, early to mid 30s, 33 to 35, somewhere around there. And his doctor was like, yeah, you're not good right now. And this is what streaming inherently is not good or bad. Like I said, mostly everything
Yeah.
is neutral. Well, I think mostly everything is neutral. But God, it can really just suck up your life. So
But
I'm actually gonna go ahead.
oh yeah, so sorry. So I was
No, you're
like,
fine.
okay. So yeah, so for the physical effects, what it sounded like was atrophy. That's
Oh
like the
yeah, his
first thing. Like
muscles, his
yeah,
muscles,
like
everything. Yeah,
yeah, it
atrophy,
was
absolutely.
atrophy, period. And you got to think of two. Let's start from head to toe. So for the actual physical effects, let's talk about the eyes, for example. Okay,
Okay.
if you're not going to have any eye problems, but if you keep doing it in the long term,
Uh,
whether it's a 24-hour stream, 10-hour stream, something where it's like long term and you're doing it every day for a few years, for the rest of your life, whatever the case may be, it's going to affect your eyes.
oh, no
You're
doubt.
gonna have vision problems. You're gonna have eye strain. If you didn't wear glasses now, if you kept doing that type of lifestyle, at some point you're gonna be wearing glasses.
Matter of
And
time.
yes, and not
Yep.
just like, oh, a minor prescription. We're talking about like hardcore. You're gonna have the thick glasses
Yep.
if you don't watch out. And then you gotta think
Stop it.
about too. We had talked about that I had talked about
Yeah.
earlier. For me, I suffer from migraines. So even if you're not a person who suffers from headaches or migraines, you're going to at some point because it puts a strain on the body, not only physically but mentally as well. And then also for hearing, we have like most of us when we game, we have our headsets on,
Sure. Sure.
and then you're let's say you're cooped up in your room, you have your headset on, you have it at full blast, listening to the game or
Not
whatever the
even
case may
full
be.
blast. I mean,
But
we know the ears aren't even. I mean, probably halfway up,
yeah,
halfway turned up, and you're going
yeah,
to start to have over a long period of time issues
yeah,
with your hearing. Just having your headphones half.
yeah. And then a lot of the
Yeah.
streamers will just have it bumping really loud just to drown out any outside noise that they're
Hmm.
so focused on their game. And then you got to think about too, let's go ahead and go down to your hands and your wrist area, carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah.
You're going to
Hmm.
develop that. I had made a point last week where a lot of those, so the pro esports players, when it comes to say like those shooter games and all that, at some point they retire early, like their early 20s, and because of carpal tunnel syndrome, they're constantly like clicking massively and all that, that it creates that problem where you have like, yeah, exactly. You have people, I know, I'm just like, yeah. You're like, okay, yes, exactly. Because you could stretch your fingers out. You could do
Yeah.
all the hand exercises in the universe. But if you're doing something repetitive for a long period of time, for years on end, it
Yep.
doesn't matter
Yep.
what age that you are. You could be, I've seen cases when I used to work. So for my background, I'm a certified medical assistant and a certified phlebotomist tech. So before school consumed me, I worked at
Before school
five
consumed me.
before school before let's
before
just put
before school was like Big Brother and owned everything that
yes.
I own.
Exactly. I was working, or I have over 5 years experience in the medical field. So I was in the urgent cares, family practice, like all these different medical fields,
Hmm.
pediatrics, cardiology, nephrology, ophthalmology, all this stuff. And so I saw from literally newborns to the elderly population.
Hmm.
And I could tell you when I was in pediatrics, there were patients that had carpal tunnel syndrome. And then I would ask them, well, if you don't mind me asking, how did you develop that? Oh, well, I do gaming as a
So
career.
you've
And
seen this.
yeah,
You've
I've
actually had
seen
clients
this.
or patients. You've had patients.
Yeah, I had patients, not only pediatric patients, but actual adult patients. Because when you
Wow.
see and here's the thing, when you think of adult patients, you're thinking, oh, cashier, casino, anything like that. You're thinking repetitive.
Right.
Anything that's
Right.
repetitive, you're going to develop carpal tunnel syndrome in that case. And I was like, oh, I see, hear me. I was like, phlebotomy. I was like, oh, but yeah. And I would ask them because as part of when I'm rooming them, because I was a medical assistant, I tell people to sum it up, I did the dirty work. Okay. I
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
shots, I
Yeah.
did the whole enchilada. And so I would ask them, how did you develop this? What was your lifestyle? Because I live in Las Vegas, first thing when you hear carpal tunnel syndrome for adult, for example, you're thinking, oh, they're in a casino environment or they're
Right.
a
Right.
cashier.
Right.
No, they're like, oh, I had people say, oh, well, I do a lot of gaming. And
That's
I'm just
crazy.
like, really?
You've actually had patients that have developed
Mm-hmm.
carpal tunnel.
Yeah, exactly, because of
Wow.
gaming. And then
Yeah.
that's why you hear a lot of like a known pro esports players that you hear them, oh, they're retiring and all that.
La vie.
Oh,
Nice to meet you.
What's up, la vie?
nice. I was like, Lovey. No, she's like, wait, she likes my voice. I was like, oh, thank you. I'm over here
La
blushing
vie.
now. Ooh, it's getting hot up in here again.
Woo.
Hello, cutie pie.
But
That's
yeah,
great. I'm not. I'm surprised, but
seriously.
I'm not surprised that you've had I keep saying clients because I call my
Yeah.
therapy patients clients, but
Mm-hmm.
patients. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised that you've had patients with carpal tunnel. But
Yeah,
it's
and
amazing.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
amazing, and it's
and
kind of
it
sad.
just, yeah. And here's the thing, because everyone thinks, for example, again, carpal tunnel syndrome, oh, that's only for
No worries,
when
Livy.
you're old person, whatever the case may be. It literally
Right.
can affect anyone that does a lot of repetition for a long period
Yep.
of time. And then you got to think about all this. Okay, you have the physical effects that's affecting you. Now you got to think about it's going to translate over to the mental side as well, because you're going to
Absolutely.
start to feel,
Yeah.
you're going to feel
Mind
cruddy.
body connection, y'all. It's a
Exactly.
super real thing. Hear me
Yeah.
says, can carpal tunnel be healed or is it permanent?
So here's the thing, it depends on the severity of carpal tunnel syndrome. There are surgeries out there that can, if you have let's just say, if you're a candidate
Hmm.
for carpal tunnel syndrome, carpal tunnel surgery, then yes, it can be typically fixed. But what most providers will do is they're going to say, okay, wear this special wrist guard. And I don't know if you guys kind of see, think of it like if you've ever watched like pro bowlers and they
Oh
have that
yeah,
special
yeah,
wrist guard.
yeah. It looks like
Yes,
an ankle guard, but for your wrists. Like an ankle
exactly.
bracelet for your wrist. Yeah,
Or weightlifters.
yeah,
Some
yeah. The
weightlifters will
straps.
have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like that style. Yeah. And so they'll have them wear that first before doing surgery. The reason why is because, first of all, you want to avoid surgery, even though it's some of it, you hear surgery about it's
Yeah,
non-invasive,
yeah.
all this stuff. So any form of surgery, there is always risk,
Mm-hmm.
and that could be death. So believe it or not, you can die from carpal tunnels, surgery if something's done wrong, where or you get infection, those type of
Yep.
things. So typically providers will say, let's do the wrist guards. Let's go ahead and do that and see how that works. Now, from there, if it's documented, it has to be all documented that, okay, we've tried this method with the wrist guards for, say, a year. Patient is not improving, opting to provider says, I suggest we do surgery. You have to
To
send that
step them
over to
up. Yep.
then you have to send it over
Mhm.
to insurance company. And because a lot of times, I here's the sad part when it comes to medical, and I love the medical, I love helping people, but when it comes to insurance companies,
Oh
ooh,
God, don't even get me started.
ooh,
Don't even get me started
yes,
on
you
insurance
know what I'm
companies.
talking about.
Oh,
I've seen people that needed the carpal
I,
tunnel surgery. They had to
I,
suffer for at
yeah.
least a year or two to prove to insurance company, yes, I need it, even though it's so obvious
Yep.
through all the MRIs and CT scans. I need this.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go
Awful.
through all this. It
I
is,
I had an
but
18. I had
mhm,
a two. I can't say names obviously for confidentiality purposes.
of course, of
Two
course.
boys, one
Mhm,
older boy, one younger boy. We're gonna leave it at that. Family members. Leave it at that as well.
mhm,
Um, the older one needed. I do psychological evaluations, so the older one needed the max units that we could get for testing, which is 18 units from their insurance provider, whom I will also not name. And the younger one needed not the bare minimum, but almost the bare minimum of
mhm,
units for what we needed to test for that individual. Well, insurance company actually flipped it. They gave the kid who didn't need as much the max units because they saw him as a lesser liability. And they
mhm.
gave the older individual the minimum units because they saw him as a higher liability because they didn't want what we thought the older one had. They didn't want him to have that because that would mean he would be in long term care, which means they'd have to continue paying for
Mhm.
him. Just
Exactly.
awful stuff, man. I see this every week that I'm at work. Horrible, horrible stories of people who don't
Well,
get what they need.
exactly,
Hear
like
me
for
says,
me.
hear me says,
Yes, yes.
Manu knows all about the insurance stuff. Yes,
Yes.
I do, and it really
Mm,
pisses me off. Honestly, it really does because I have families. I have to have
mhm,
those conversations of, you know what, your child has autism, or you know what, your child has bipolar, or you know what,
mhm,
you need to be hospitalized. But in order for me to have those conversations with confidence, I need data. I need to be able to say, hey, we're
mhm.
leaning on this. Isn't just my clinical impression or interpretation. I'm leaning on this data that we did. But the data that we have, in order for me to make the most accurate diagnosis, is dependent heavily on what the insurance company gives us. And it's just this tug of war with insurance companies and making them understand, hey, we need you because this stuff is expensive and like people's care is on the line. It's just
And see for me,
I'm trying not to get
I,
loud.
no, 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 no,
I'm
no.
trying. I'm
So, so for me, and it was hard. So when I first started off in the medical field, so I was in a family urgent care for a very
mhm.
big company, medical company. Now they threw me in because no one in the office. We had a huge office. We saw at least 120 patients per day, at
Wow.
least.
Wow.
Yes, it was a very. It was the at the time. I don't know if it's true now. At the time when I was working there, it was the busiest office in Las Vegas. So because we just saw so many patients, and it was a family practice urgent care, we had three providers on there. So my job as a medical assistant was just a back office, even though I have front office experience as well. So
Right.
back
Right.
office, you're doing your rooming, you're doing procedures wherever the doctor needs. On top of that, we have people, you got to consider, you got patients calling us, you have insurance calling us, all this stuff. So we had to delegate who's going to check the voicemails and return those calls, who's going to do the prior authorization for the
Mhm.
medications. So I was the one that had to do that because no one wanted to do that because you literally have to call the insurance companies. You got
Oh
to
yeah.
be the lawyer. You got
Yeah.
to prove your case to them.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times, like most of the time, when I first started, I had no one to show me. I had to learn on my own because no one took the time out to say, let me go ahead
Yep.
and show you how to do this. You had to say certain verbiage to so that insurance companies, if you say certain words, they love you and then they'll approve it. But if you don't say these
You
particular
got to get in.
words,
Yeah.
yeah, you and I had
It's
some
just a giant
people.
freaking game.
Exactly.
Awful.
And I had people on
But
heart medications. I had people on Suboxone. I don't know if you've ever heard of that,
mm-mm,
but
mm-mm.
okay, so if you're it's for people who've been who are addicted, say, to pain medication, you're trying to wean them off, so you're giving them Suboxone that's supposed to kind of help them. So it's not too many providers I think someone told me it's not too many providers in the US
Right.
that deal with that. So that to get the prior authorization, get that approved, that medication was hard because insurance companies like, oh, get some therapy, you'll be good. But
Right.
some of my patients needed this medication in addition to having therapy and everything else. There's a whole holistic deal. And the thing is that I had a situation where I had pregnant, and initially the insurance company
Yeah.
said, we don't care if she's pregnant. We're not covering that med.
Wow. I'm not surprised though.
Yeah, so it's
The horror stories are
almost
endless with insurance
it,
companies.
it really is, and
Yeah.
that's the thing is that you gotta consider all this type of stuff that
Yeah.
going connecting this back to our conversation.
To
I know we got a
gamers.
little
Yeah.
off track to gamers is that you gotta consider then the cost and the
Yep.
time, like you were mentioning about time wise. Well, not only time for say a 24-hour stream, whatever the case may be, but also the time and money when you have all your medical problems pop up.
Yep.
Because it costs just to see a doctor, just to say hi to the doctor for 2 minutes. I had some providers that would see you for 2 minutes and be out. And it's just like,
And
it's
boom,
like,
medical bill.
boom,
Yep.
boom, like $200, $500.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Mhm.
again, to tie this back into gamers,
Hmm.
I think really the connection, there's a bunch of connections here, but really the
Oh,
main
yes.
connection is gaming has its gaming culture. Just we can categorize that as content creators as well. I'm just going to make content creation and gamers and streamers all one, okay? It's a unique culture of unique issues, mental and physical. The most obvious ones are the sedentary nature of sitting in front of a camera all the time, and then the trolls that get to you mentally, okay? But there's other examples. The point is you need to be more proactive because, again, referring to the insurance companies, referring to getting help, the system is often built against individuals who need support. And strong word, very few people really understand the unique stressors that are placed on content creators, streamers, and gamers. Very few people. We don't pay attention to it. Just like we don't pay attention to athletes because, oh, he makes YouTube videos. His life is great. He has 3 million subscribers. But I have two buddies. One really I'm much closer to than the other, who has a very large YouTube channel who I'm not going to name because I don't like to name drop. But his life is, it's like working 60 plus hours a week staring at a screen, editing videos for reviews and playing games. And it sounds awesome, but it's really not. And when you talk to them, there's another individual as part of their team that is dealing with, I think, depression right now. And this individual can't even leave the house. I mean, it's a lot more serious than you think. But they're very successful, this particular group of people on YouTube. I'm not going to name who they are. But they're very, very, very successful. And so you would never think that. You would never think that they are struggling with keeping things going. But they are. So anyway, I'm going to jump to number 3, if that's okay, Turner.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is, and we're going to speed this up a little bit because I want to get to
Of
the
course.
review of everything. The third thing I want to discuss is value being dictated by it. And I just want to give a quick overview of what I mean by that. Too often, I see individuals who stream, we're looking primarily at streaming and content creation, who look at the number of viewers, subs, donors, followers, or any other type of likes or whatever. They look at other people's interactions with their media and they let that define their value as a person. And I cannot tell you how stupid that is. I feel bad that people do it, and I've done it too. I think it's very inherent for us to allow other people to dictate how good or bad we are at something, how valuable we are at something, if our personality is good or not. If I'm streaming live and my face is on video and you're constantly clicking in and clicking out, you're saying to me, no, I'm not interested in that guy. And it's really easy for us to say, oh, that means something's wrong with me. And that's total bullcrap. And it makes me so angry to see these people who, if I don't have X amount of followers or X amount of subs or X amount of likes on this, then nobody likes me. Nobody retweeted me. I can't stand it. I genuinely can't stand it. And I'm not mad at the person who feels that way. I'm mad at our culture has become this. If somebody doesn't affirm you in that particular way, if you're a content creator, then you're not good. And that's the sole way that you measure if you're good at doing that particular thing. Not fun, not did I help somebody get distracted by their life today, not did I support somebody and affirm them in a different way. It's how many people looked at my stuff. How many subs do I have? Like I have 5 viewers right now and I couldn't care less. And that wasn't always the case. Before I started, pulling back on my stream time, I really care. I'm like, you know what? I want to hit at least 10. I want to hit at least 10. I want at least 10 subs. Like I had all these goals and I still have those goals, but I don't really care. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't, because I feel like I'm over feeling as though I have to appease everybody. I'm over feeling as though I have to put on a specific show. I just want to have fun. I hope that you guys have fun, and I hope you feel supported. And anything else is just like, I don't need donations and stuff. I genuinely don't need subs. Like, I have a career. I have things outside of this. I do this because I want to interact with you and I want to have fun. And the moment that I'm not interacting with you and having fun, I'm not doing this for the right reasons anymore. I don't want to sit here 7 days a week and have my value dictated by who watches me. I don't want that. That's my spiel. Eterna, if you have anything you want to add to it,
Yes.
feel free. But
Definitely.
it drives me up the wall that people give so much of their heart and their value and their worth and their soul to a damn number. I just can't handle it. I really can't.
But here's the thing. It again comes back to not only I know. Stop. Woosah.
Woosah.
Woosah. Yes. Let's do some deep breathing exercises. I mean, and of course, let me incorporate some nursing
Oh man.
right now. But yeah, so here's the thing. Is yes, first of all, the top of the pyramid, shall we say, yes, it's our culture, it's our like Western culture that dictates. I mean, you gotta think about it too. It's not only, I mean, yes, in gaming, but it translates over to other things. We as humans, we want to be accepted.
Yeah.
We want to feel like, okay, oh, if I have all these numbers, if I have all these dollar bills type of stuff, that means I'm cool. That means that I am someone of worth.
It's an
I'm not a
existential need of
nobody.
humans to feel
Yes.
we existentially require social inclusion.
But
So
again, it's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yep.
Okay, but we can all go ahead and incorporate that as well because we want that. We want to feel accepted.
Yep.
And again, it's like social media. When we're doing, I used to have this friend. I'm not friends with her anymore, but because she was very toxic, she would literally do selfies. Like literally everywhere we go, let's go take a selfie.
yeah.
And I'm just like, and I rarely take pictures of myself. I'm just like a very shy person, believe it or not. But
Really?
I just, yeah. Yes, I'm actually a very shy person. But I just try to push myself to talk. But I'm honest, I'm very shy until I get comfortable with you. And then you can be like, oh gosh, be quiet now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she would always take selfies everywhere we go, literally every step. Let me go ahead and take a selfie. And I asked her, because I mean, I love psychology. And I asked her, well, and she said, and I asked her, why do you want to do that? Like everywhere we go, we got to take a selfie. I told her, I understand you love yourself, but why? She's like, well, I get all these likes on my social media, and then everyone likes me. And it was always people when I said, and she's like, well, also because I know I look so good, I'm in shape, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, it becomes to a point where you become very selfish. Yes, exactly. Oh, trust me, I've seen some. But yeah, and it's...
hold on. The butt one. The butt one's the best.
Oh,
hold on, the butt
yes.
one. The butt one. Where they do one leg, one leg out, and then butt. Oh, hold on. I got
yes.
Like that. You gotta put one leg in front of the other like that. It's gotta be that way. You can't stand straight. It's gotta be one leg in front of the other. It doesn't count.
No,
gotta make that booty. Gotta make that peach look big.
Yes, exactly. Because we all know you didn't stuff it with some toilet paper.
Oh yeah. Stop playing, girl. I know why you're wearing those high-waisted pants. Stop playing. I know why you're squeezing that waist up tight.
Okay, that's why you're hiking it like Urkel going on.
Yeah, and they're coming back. That's the thing. Those are coming back. Like I recently saw this girl. She goes, I never thought I would buy a high-waisted bikini, but I love it. And I'm like, oh god.
See, I don't take the high waist. I just like my stuff to my hip, and I'm good on that. I just like.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'm going to do my thing. But yeah, going back to this, it
Mhm.
becomes to a point where we become narcissistic almost too, because we're thinking about ourselves. We're like,
Yeah.
in a sense, like, okay, this is me, 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 me. I need to have people like me. If I don't, there's something wrong with me. I want to be
Smiles for the people.
accepted. I was like, smile for them.
I should have wore different shorts, peachier shorts.
Oh
I got
my
the
gosh, I've
black.
seen
Black slims me down. You never wear
exactly.
black
Yeah.
pants, chat. You notice the girls on Instagram are always wearing the white ones, the light blue ones. You want lighter
And
colors. Makes the
stripes.
peach look bigger. Mm,
And stripes. The
and
stripes
stripes.
will make you
Yeah, the
stripes.
Gymshark ones that like literally like go into the butt. It just like it's
And then I
all
can't
about
even tell you about the
visual.
guys too. I had quite the interesting experience in my gym. I love my gym. It
Yeah.
was funny because we have this hallway, it has mirrors, you can exercise and stuff. It's
Uh-huh.
nice. And I'm just like exercising the hallway with my trainer, and she's like, I bend up doing like my lunges, and
Yeah.
guy has his pants down.
Wait, what happened? Who had their pants down?
This guy, he was okay. So he was buff up top. He's like a weightlifter, I'm assuming.
Don't do that.
This guy was buff up top, but in the bottom, you know what I'm talking about? Where they're high up top at
Oh
the
yeah.
bottom. They're
Oh
like a
yeah.
little stick. They're like a
Yeah, they
little
got chicken
twig.
legs.
Yes, exactly. He had
Well,
chicken legs. And I was
did
just
he have
like,
chicken legs or was he wearing black? Because black can make the legs look kind of chickenish.
no, no, no. Homie had
Legit.
his pants down. The only thing that
What
was
was he
black
wearing?
was his underwear. Okay, that was the
So
only thing that's
just
black.
just compression? He was just wearing compression pants?
No, he was just wearing like basketball shorts. For
So
real.
so all he was wearing was boxers? You say he had his pants down. I'm
Yeah, no, she had like, like he was trying to pose because he had the mirror, he had his camera. He was
No,
just
he
like
didn't. He
posing.
was taking
He
pictures
didn't.
in the gym with his pants off with other
Yeah, he
people
had
around.
underwear. He had at the time it was just me. We didn't notice
Don't
him
do
until
that.
after fact.
People,
Trust me. I
don't
was
be
just
that
like,
guy. Jeez, don't be
oh,
that guy or
homie.
girl,
I was about to
please.
say
Oh my
something.
God. You
No,
should
no,
have.
no.
Why didn't you? You should have said something, bro. I would have gone over and been like, dude, really? There's a bathroom like right over there. Just go
I'm like,
take
dude,
it. Oh
well,
my
we
God.
have the locker room. It's a huge gym.
Locker room, yeah.
So Razor Boy will probably know what gym I'm talking about. It's like
Hey,
the biggest one
Hey,
out here.
hey, hold
He
on,
knows what I'm
chat.
talking
You
about.
know this guy's looking around at the ladies feeling like
Who is your daddy?
you know he's out there doing that.
Mhm.
He's like, "Oh yeah." He's feeling himself. I can't believe he did that in the middle of a gym. Hear
Well,
me,
it's
don't you
in
dare
area.
do that next time we go to the gym. Also, I'm going tomorrow morning again. So
Do it, hear me. Do it. YOLO.
don't do it. Don't do that. No.
No, so what happened was it was in the back area, it was in the hallway area. So
Yeah.
off to the side, but and people exercise down there
can't
because it's
handle it.
nice to exercise. And I just like said to my trainer, and I've known her for a while, I'm like, ooh, sexy, can I? As a joke.
Oh, that was a great song, by the way. That was
I
my
know.
jam. Sexy can
Oh
I?
yes.
Boom.
I was like, wait. I'm like,
I gotta play
telling
that.
my
Hold on,
trainer.
keep talking.
Oh,
I'm gonna
hold
go ahead
on.
and play
Yes. Oh yeah, trust me. I was
Go
about
ahead.
to whip out my phone and be like, sexy can I? And I just like,
Sexy
and we're
can I? Sexy
I'm just doing my
can I?
lunges, avoiding.
Sexy, is it sexy can I, right?
Yeah,
Sexy
Ray J.
can
Yeah, and it was by Ray J.
Dude, that was my
Which, by the
jam.
way, is Brandy's brother.
This is an ad
Is
for
it?
project management tool.
Yes, they're
Freaking
related.
ads,
This is what
man.
it looks like. This is what
During those ads. But yeah,
There
for real, here's I'll post like, holy
Here we go.
bruh, I was gonna tell him, bruh, you don't lift down in the leg department. I'll lift you.
Bro, you don't lift in the
No,
leg
sir.
department. Is this playing or what? Oh, here we go.
I can hear it. You sound like- yeah, I don't think we can hear it though.
You can't hear it?
I don't think. Well, no. Well, oh yeah, now I can hear it. Yeah.
Oh, this is the explicit version. Oh, you can't see it.
Oh gosh. Thank you. Oh, trust me, I'll be at the gym. I'll be like doing my squats. I'll be like, Y'all can't see me if we had the camera. Doing my thing, okay?
I gotta get my peach. I gotta get my peach.
I can say more about the peach, but
God, this is my jam, man. When did this come
no,
out?
I love this.
Oh, okay.
This is early 2000s.
Damn, that was my
Oh,
jam.
God.
I want to say that was high school.
For
I
me,
can't remember.
yeah, that was at least high school for me. At least.
I can't remember, but damn, that was my jam. That song. All right, we're gonna move on because we're running out of time.
But one one
We
more thing I wanted
digress.
to add to the value
Okay,
is
sure. Go
that
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, real quick.
No,
So
you're fine.
for the mask,
Yeah.
because in other words, like when we're doing this, we're not being true to ourselves as well. Like for me, I'm a perfectionist. I've gotten better where I'm more chill, but when I was younger, I was just like, I'm perfect. And now it's come to a point where I'm just like, I'm very chilled about things. But yeah, just like because we're at this point, if you what happens is if you start to get that feeling like, oh, no one likes me for all these likes and money and stuff, I need to change who I am. And it becomes to that point where you become someone that you're
You're a
not.
chameleon.
And
Yeah, you're just constantly a
yes,
chameleon, changing to your environment. Now, you do have to be somewhat of a chameleon because there's
you
a time
can,
and a
but
place to be a professional, a time and a place to be, joking like I'm joking right now. Like I would never
yeah.
dance like that at work. Like there's a time and a
But
place to
yeah,
be a certain
yeah.
kind of person. But yeah, I get what you're saying for the most
You
part. For
become
sure.
someone that you're not.
Yeah,
And it's maintaining balance, honestly, and
I got
just
you.
and depends on your upbringing too. Like I was raised like, hey, don't please other people. Try to just take care of yourself. If they like you who you are, you don't need to do all these extravagant things, all these extremes
Hmm.
to get them to like you.
No, you do not.
Because if they like you for who, then they're going to be around with you. If they
They'll stick
don't,
around longer.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly. If they don't, then they're just, hey, they weren't the right person
hmm,
for you. That's what my parents
absolutely.
always taught me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
I keep
that's
trying
my
to I keep
spiel.
trying to get rid of Hear Me, and he just keeps coming back.
Ah!
I'm just kidding. Okay, we're gonna move on to number 4. We're almost done here,
Okay.
and then we're gonna do the quick review of Borderlands 3.
Hmm.
Number 4 for me is time. We already touched on this, so I'll make it brief.
Hmm.
I am not against people spending a lot of time playing video games and/or creating content, so long as I like to say a problem is only a problem, so long as it doesn't cause a problem. Problem isn't a problem unless it causes a problem, right? So if you're gaming for, I don't know, 30 hours a week, okay, are you still able to go to work? Are you doing good work there? Are you still making enough money to support yourself and or your family and or loved ones? Are you still engaging in relationships with other human beings? Like, are you still exercising somewhat? I mean, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but are you still exercising? Are you taking care of yourself? And if the answer to all those questions is yes, you're fine. Spend as much time as you want. I think the time is only dictated. I don't like to jump on problems. I don't like to make things problems until they become one. And it only is one once it starts affecting other things in your life. So that's my short version of that because we've already touched on it. Is it okay if I move to 5?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Okay. 5 for me is fun. So this is supposed to be fun. We've already talked about this one as well. Guys and girls, it's just for fun. Now, some people do make their living creating content. And for them, that's great. It does become somewhat of a job. If you're not at that level yet, don't stress. It's not worth it. You're still loved if you don't make the next YouTube video on time. You're fine. You do not have to apologize on Twitter for not going live when you said you would. You don't need to do these things because you're more important than your next stream or your next video. It's just not that important. And I don't want to take away something that you're passionate about. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't want you to feel like you have to always be on time like it's a job. It needs to be fun. And some jobs need to be fun as well. I think there are times and places where your job can't be fun. But find fun. We've lost that. We get to a point in life, in age, where we stop being fun and having fun. And everything becomes, can I make money from it? Can I get views from it? Can I get popular from it? And it's no longer about fun. And I feel like people need to look at their inner child sometimes and say, where did that person go? One of my favorite quotes is, when I grew up, I gave up childish fears, including the fear of being childish. It's okay just to have fun and to see it as nothing more than fun. And if other things come out of it, that's great. But I think most streamers fail. Again, I'm not a successful streamer, but I think most streamers and content creators fail because it stops being fun and it starts being work. And I think it needs to be fun until it's able to support you in the way that work would. So that's the last thing I want to talk about. Is there anything you want to add on that before we go to Borderlands 3?
Yes, I actually did.
So
So
feel free.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So for fun, yeah, like you were saying, first of all, you want to look at gaming, streaming, wherever the case may be. You want to look at it first in a positive light. Why do I want to do this? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Why am I doing this? Am I, you know, I in the question, and then your answer would be, well, I want to do this fun. I don't want to have to stress out because then if you start stressing out, you start worrying, all those negative type of feelings. It's not going to bring. Not only is it going to bring you down mentally, but also physically
It's all
as
connected.
well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always all connected. And then there's times like for my nursing program,
Hmm.
because I'm in it for like 2 more years, a little over 2 more years. So my schedule gets hectic, and even with my streaming, I'm constantly on Twitter, communicating like, hey, this is some of my possible days, and if I couldn't make it, I just say, hey, sorry I couldn't stream. This is what happened. I just want to at least communicate and
Yeah.
not I think have
Yeah.
people think,
But I see
oh,
these
she's
people
just
who are like,
flaky.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I just,
Like it's life
I feel
threatening. It's
so
like someone
bad.
just died. I was
Yeah.
just
It's
like,
like, dude, you're
it's
fine. Like, I
okay.
had one person, he's a pretty successful streamer, actually. The other
Hmm.
day, he goes, guys, I'm so sorry I'm not able to make it. I think his wife was sick. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're fine. Like, you do not need to apologize to
No.
anybody on Twitter or any other social media platform because your wife is sick.
Uh-huh.
For what? I just, I just,
You have to take. Here's the thing when it comes to
it's fine.
my one of my sayings is life is what you make it. So you need to take care of your household first,
Hmm.
whether you're a single household where it's just yourself, your family, wherever the case may be. You need to take
Nuclear
care of
first.
your
Yep.
exactly. So you need to take care of yourself
Hmm.
and your those that you care about first,
Hmm.
and then let everything else follow suit.
That's
Because
right.
if you don't, then the ship is going to just go down. It's just
Good.
going to sink.
Couldn't
You
agree more.
know
Always take care of home base first.
exactly, and it's
Couldn't
self
agree
care.
more.
For streaming gaming,
Hmm.
for nursing, they always talk about because it's such a high stress job
Yep.
that a lot of times
Self care.
exactly self
And
care.
we
You
laugh
just
at that.
yeah,
Are you
yeah, but
taking
we
care
don't
of your
really think
self
about that.
care?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for me, my
No, but
self
really.
care, yeah, it is. It's like gaming is my self care. Not only is it a escape, a break from my normal stuff, it's also the self care. It's like, okay, I'm taking care of myself. It makes
Hmm.
me feel, it gives me positive feelings. I'm a positive person, anyways,
I
but
can
this
tell.
just
I love
thanks.
it. I really do. I
Thanks.
love it.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not perfect. I get
No, I know.
down,
I know,
whatever.
but
But overall, I'm a positive person. Considering I've been through a lot of stuff that most people be like, really, I wouldn't think you'd be
you would never
positive.
guess. Yeah. That's how Hear Me
Exactly.
is. Hear Me is, you don't know him. I know him IRL, but
Yeah.
that dude, I tell him all the time, most positive person I've ever seen. He walks, he
Oh,
comes by our
exactly.
office sometimes and he just like
Oh,
exudes not even positivity, but it's like he like brings everybody down a notch just by being present. You know what I mean? He has his bad days
yeah.
too, but some
Like a
people just have that.
calming.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That calming effect.
Calming.
And
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
it's just like the way I look at gaming and streaming is it's just something to add more to my cup of positivity. Because there's
Yep.
plenty of negative stuff in this
Yeah,
world
there's
that
enough.
we could go through.
There's
There's plenty of
enough.
hate and negative.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I be telling people, get that hate and that negative out. I don't want that. Okay. You need to all leave that
Get out
at
of
the
here.
door. You come around me,
Hasta la
leave it out the
vista,
door. Okay.
baby.
Now, if you're
That's
feeling
right.
down, whatever, talk to me. Yes. If you're feeling down, you're feeling some negative feelings, talk to me. But guess what? After we lay it all out, we're going to go ahead and invite some positivity into
Hmm.
your life because most things in life is not, it's workable. You're
Yeah,
able to get out of most things in life. You just have to change your mindset a bit.
I agree.
So, but yeah, that's my take
I
on the
agree.
fun part.
I agree. So for me, we're going on right at an hour. Those are the 5
Okay.
things in an hour.
I'm sorry.
We digress so many times. No, it's totally fine. This is
Yeah.
great. I love the back and forth. It's totally fine. Those are the 5 things. I wanted to take the time to get somebody on who can discuss something a little more serious here on the channel. And I know it's not the most entertaining thing in the world, but I think it needs to be said. And my hope is we can get some clips out of this that I can post as well, and maybe somebody will see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will
I,
see
I
it and it'll help them take that next step, or
yeah, exactly. It was
be the
actually
tipping
really
point.
nice. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
don't really see these type of discussions when it comes to
Yeah.
gaming. You see for other serious subjects, but not really how does it
Hey,
gaming.
I would love to do it more. It's just not very entertaining for most
Of
people,
course,
unfortunately.
of course, I understand
I would
that.
do it I mean, this is what I do basically every day. I mean, I have no problem talking about it, but most people just don't, and I totally get it, and that's totally fine. But I hope, again, like I said, I hope we can get at least a video or two, a clip or two that will impact somebody.
Exactly.
So we'll see. All right, let's move on to some fun. Also, can we acknowledge the Dilly Dilly shirt? Come on.
I was looking. I was like,
Diddy Diddy.
ew. I was like, wait, is that like a beer bottle?
Hell yeah! It's like sort of like a tacky Christmas sweater mixed with a t-shirt. I freaking love it.
It's tacky though.
Diddy
I think
Diddy.
it looks good.
No,
I'm
I know.
liking the
I love
colors. It actually compliments you. The colors, the whole color scheme. I was like, okay,
Hello, cutie pie.
like
Stop.
fashion.
Remember when
fashion
everybody
expert
did
on
this?
here.
Remember when everybody did the duck face and the...
Oh yes. I don't.
Love that.
See. I don't mean.
That's a clip right there, chat. Diddy Diddy. All right, let's move on to Borderlands 3. So I haven't seen this yet. Did I send you this video? You want to just watch it on my stream? Would that be easier for
I
you?
can
I'm
just
sorry. I
watch
should
it.
have sent it to you. That's
No,
my
that's
bad.
all good. I can watch it on your stream.
Okay. We're going to just watch it and then give our live impressions. So if you haven't watched or played Borderlands before, it's a pretty cartoony game. High looting game. So if you're about like just finding different guns and things of that nature and exploding things in a cartoonistic environment, like this is the game for you. I thought Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 were great games. I feel like they've been forgotten, oddly enough, and I don't think they should have been because I liked the first two very, very much. So here we go. That art style, though. It's so unique. I just love the art style. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
I saw wings. So.
I saw wings. You see wings? Cheers, float. The worlds? That's plural. Children of... Oh. Yeah, it said worlds. Are you gonna be able to travel? Like, wow.
Yeah, because you're showing different ones.
It's massive. Woo, look at that. That dude looks badass.
I like the chick with the white hair. I was like, okay. She reminds me of Storm.
Oh, I could definitely see
Back
that,
then.
yeah. Holy crap, this looks great. What the hell?
Hey, that's how you take out your enemies with saxophone. Kill them with jazz.
You know this game's gonna throw in a little bit of humor. Your friends are here to save the world. It keeps saying worlds. Are we gonna be able to travel from planet to planet? That would be dope.
No, I agree.
Over 1 billion guns? No, there's no way. No, I don't believe that for a second. Over 1 billion? I don't believe that. No, I want to see Holy
It's-
crap.
Could be possible. Maybe some combination.
Are they maybe they're including edits? I don't know.
Mods, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Borderlands guns.
And also, just so you know, Razor Boy, he said that he's watching in Discord.
He's wait, what? He's doing what?
Yeah, he said that to let you know that he's watching.
Oh,
He's
okay.
in
Okay, yeah, because
Discord.
we're gonna pull him in during the Q&A. Because today
Yeah.
we're gonna be testing everybody on Game On for the first time ever. We're gonna be testing
Woohoo.
on bringing somebody live to give their question over chat versus through stream or between episodes. So that's gonna be dope. So we'll try that out here in a little bit. Let's see. All new guns.